Hello, Seka.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
I cannot complain a bit.
I am here with my co-host, Ton.
Hey there.
Hi, Ton.
I'm glad we got you on the line here.
I'm glad you have me too, baby.
Well, we have only a few minutes here, so we'll start off and kind of ask you, how you got started in the adult film business.
I owned several adult bookstores, and so I got to see a lot of adult movies. And I've looked at the ladies in the movies and said, that's not a really great representation of women, so I think I can do that and do it better, and I did.
And you obviously appeared in, hundreds of films over your career. Who would you say were some of your favorite people to work with?
John Holmes, Jamie Gillis, Mike Ranger, Richard Pacheco, Paul Thomas, Kay Parker, Veronica Hart, Veronica Vera, Candido Royale, Vanessa Del Rio.
So all the big ones, no pun intended.
Well, those were the people that were around when I was working.
Sure. And then was there anything that you would say you refused to do on camera back then?
Yes. Children and animals.
Okay.
Good choice.
And I wasn't into the S&M or B&D thing. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse, but if it floats your boat, go for it.
Now, you're really considered to be kind of the Marilyn Monroe of the industry. I know, just a little personal story. When I was younger, I was working on a race car with a friend. We were building it for him to race, and we were with an older guy, and we had no idea who you were. He comes out to the shop, and, we're working on this car. He sticks in a tape, and there it is. You're on screen, and we're like, what's going on here? And this guy looks at us, and he goes, do you know who this is? And we're like, I have no idea. And he looks at us, and he goes, that's Seka. It was like,
do that well.
It was like this whole thing. It was just this ridiculous thing. So it's pretty interesting just thinking about your life. Now, can you kind of describe to us, like, especially in the beginning, what was it like even just trying to do that, transitioning into having sex on film, and, what that was?
It wasn't any difference than having regular sex, except there was a camera and a few more people around. But it was never anything that was difficult for me. It didn't bother me that there were other people there. It didn't bother me to have sex and know it's being filmed. It was not a big deal for me.
Well, then obviously, all the people you mentioned you worked with, you were definitely considered to be, the trailblazer for a lot of women that are in the industry today.
Well, I've always stood up for women's rights, and I never did anything that I didn't want to do. If there was something I didn't want to do in a film, I just said, no, I'm not doing that. And if they said, well, you'll never work in this town again, it's like, okay, I'll see you, goodbye. And they'd be like, well, hold on a minute, maybe we can, change this thing around. So they did. I mean, I don't think anybody should do anything that they don't want to do. I don't care what your job is.
Right. Well, then obviously you left around the mid-'80s or so. Can you explain that a little bit about what the kind of the climate was?
Well, for one thing, AIDS was starting to become prevalent, and people were not being tested, and that wasn't mandatory, nor was the use of condoms mandatory. And I just said, look, if you're not going to make people get tested and not wear condoms, I'm not working anymore. It's not worth my life. This is explained in the book Inside Seka, so you need to go buy that.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your book? I mean, is that something that you've always thought about doing, or how did that come about?
Well, I figured it was time. There's a lot more to me than just the adult business, the adult industry, and there's a lot about the adult industry in there. But it starts at the beginning of my life through up to about 5 years ago. You're going to have to read the book. I can't give you away all of my secrets, so you're going to have to read Inside Seka.
Yeah, we definitely have to read it.
You'll find it quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, the business nowadays is, as you were mentioning, with the testing and stuff, it seems to be pretty strict now. Would you ever consider going back in some fashion?
Oh, God, no.
Just asking.
No, I mean, I don't want to see this at 59 years old on a screen. Not naked, anyway.
Well, Ron Jeremy is still pretty
Well,
active.
yeah, but
so.
look at Ron. Come on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Ronnie. First off, we started calling him the Manatee. He's changed to the Hedgehog, or it was the Hedgehog, and then we changed it to the Manatee. I don't know what it's gone up to now, but I mean, as much as I adore Ronnie, it's like, honey, please put your clothes back on. That's something that's pretty to look at, because, trust me, I've seen it naked at this stage of the game. Not pretty.
So now in the book, you talk about some of the relationships you had outside of the business. Is that right? Some pretty high-profile stuff going on?
Yes. Like?
Just give us some name drops to entice the listeners.
I dated Sam Kennison for 3 years. I dated Billy Connors for a long time. He was pitching coach for the Cubs, and when I lived in Chicago, and he and I are still friends. I had some booty calls. They weren't really relationships, but Matt Damon and Dolph Lundgren were booty calls.
And we get more of those details in the book, right?
Well, of course, I can't tell you all of my secrets.
Nope.
It's like, don't you like to have a little foreplay before sex?
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go.
I'm just looking
this
for
is foreplay before you get into the book. I can't give it all to you, darling.
That's good. One kind of odd question that I just have to ask. Is it true you were slated to be on the helicopter with Stevie Ray Vaughan when he died? Is that a...
Yes, I was.
Wow.
And because I rode out of the limo to Alpine Valley to see a show, and it's kind of a rainy, misty, chilly night, and they said, well, we're going to take the helicopter back in. Do you want to ride? And I said, no, I'll take the car, thanks. I said, I don't want to get on a helicopter on a night like this.
Crazy. So
I was very fortunate in that I didn't die that night.
Woman's intuition right there.
That was a lot of it. I'm like, something tells me don't do this, so I didn't.
Well, Seka, we know we only have a minute or two left here. We want to ask you what your thoughts are on the business nowadays. I mean, women are making incredible amounts of money. I mean, obviously you set the table for that. Well, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think all women are. There are a very select few that are making a lot of money. I don't think you're going to see any big stars anytime soon. I think the last big star that this industry has produced was Jenna Jameson, and I don't think you're going to see that again because there are too many people willing to do too many crazy things. So, and the money's not as much as most people think it is anyway. So,
okay,
I want a little slice of that pie. So you need to buy Inside Seka.
There it is. We are looking forward to the book, definitely. And again, it's been an honor having you on today. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
Well, if you want the book, you can go to Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, or Seka.com, or you can come and see me at some of my appearances around the country. I am on Facebook at Seka1954. Twitter, Seka1954, and on Facebook. And I put my calendar up on there frequently, so you know when I'm coming to a town near you.
Excellent. Thank you so
Beautiful.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.